the insight that a great teacher could teach sitting on a rock out in the middle of a desert, that there are certain characteristics that great teachers embody. So with that in mind, we're going to do a brief Greek chorus, and we're going to share with you the characteristics that we believe great teachers embody. And we're going to start with Tiffany.
Okay, so my character trait that informs my teaching above all is authenticity. Teaching what I know from who I am. So at the beginning of this semester in my 7 Habits class, which is all about opening up, I shared with everyone that I'm a breast cancer survivor. And I shared it just like this. Yes, that's a shirt. I said, guys, I have one breast. And my class was appalled. Like, oh my gosh, half of them are going to go to the dean. But yeah, and as a matter of fact, I don't even know where my pad is. I just find whatever shirt I can find and I fold it to see if it matches. So it's kind of become a little bit of a joke. But some people think that this might make me weak, right? It certainly makes me vulnerable. But to be vulnerable is not weakness. To show your weakness and your vulnerability is actually strength. And I truly believe that opening our hearts is what makes people better. Deb Thornton, if any of you know her, an English professor at UVU, told me once that she thought, I was a student of hers, that when they cut off my breast, that it brought my heart closer to the world. And I've always thought of that as a way that informs my teaching. Teach from my heart, always. And when I do that, it gives my students permission to learn from their heart.
One of the things that I think helps with my teaching is to bring experience to those that are learning maintenance on airplanes, because what I want to try to convey to them is a bit of finesse, because everything that they do that just isn't, might be per the requirements that are necessary to fix the airplanes, might not necessarily make the airplane safe. And if it's not safe, then nobody wants to fly on the airplanes because they're worried that it's going to fall out of the sky. And it's really hard to teach finesse as far as even common sense, because it kind of overlaps with that, but to make it so that they treat the aircraft in such a way that it's not going to damage it or going to cause problems by trying to fix it. And my idea is to try to just help them in some of the stories to express that if they do certain things, that this is going to be the consequences of how serious what the profession that they're getting into. And hopefully that's enough, because I know he's going to want to talk for a long
Well, I will be shorter again. I think that the main characteristic I want to show my students is to promote autonomy, and that comes with responsibility on their choice, on what they decide. Sometimes I feel that my students just look at me and say, please fill me with whatever knowledge you have so I can pass the test and get a good grade. I think, no, you are in the wrong place. You are going to be thinking from day one, and you are going to start thinking of your own. I can give you the resource. This is what other people think, and now summarize that and show what you really think. And that is really hard. I started to think that it's very hard for them. In those situations, what I always think is my own advisor, that was my best teacher ever. I wouldn't be here without him. He made me think, choose my own path. Anytime I needed help, I went to him, but he was just helping, and that's what I try to do with my students, help them to think on their own, to be autonomous, because I'm not going to be with them forever, hopefully. They need to rely on them always. I think that's a characteristic of a good teacher.
Characteristic of a good teacher is passion and enthusiasm for the subject matter. In many fields, you learn by doing. You practice over and over again, but in psychology, you learn by being and by paying attention to how you are, how you think, how you behave, how you feel, how you are. So a good teacher loves the subject matter and communicates the passion and intensity they have for the subject matter to their students, to light their fires of inquisitiveness, of intuitiveness, of introspection.
Another characteristic of a great teacher, in fact, the research bears this out. For as long as we've been researching teaching and learning, which really, in the history of higher education, which is about 1,000 years, we haven't been researching good teachers for very long. But if you compile the research and aggregate it, there's two things that come out. Passion for your students, you care about them, and passion for the subject. And mine is passion for my students. I am absolutely passionate about them as human beings. I don't care who walks into the classroom. They know within a matter of minutes, hours, days, whatever it takes, that I love them through the pores of their skin. And I don't care if they fail or succeed in my classwork, but I care about them. And I teach them that that's true by what I do, not by what I say. And I could give you lots of examples of that. My colleagues say, how do you have time for that? And I said, how do I not have time to show these other human beings that come into my classroom that we share space together on this earth, and that they matter so much more than the material or the college or the school. Our relationship is everything.
So, to my opinion, the thing that makes a great teacher is who fosters creativity. So remember, we are sitting in a desert on a rock. We don't have anything. We have to survive. The great teacher is not the one who have read a book or have be with some student, but the great teacher is the one who will allow these people to survive. We have to research what is available and what we can create out of it to sustain life. So then that will not only make these students think about creativity, but the benefit will be available for the humanity. So those are the, according to Bloom's taxonomy, creativity is the highest level of teaching. And research is the best way of learning and teaching. So a great teacher always look for those attributes.
To summarize very quickly, you all embody characteristics of great teaching. How do we know you're a great teacher? Because you are so concerned with teaching that you took a holiday to come to a workshop to talk about teaching. And that's something only the best teachers would care enough about to make that kind of sacrifice. Thank you.
Online when we're thinking about great teachers. So we'll show you a few. What time do we have? 5 minutes?
5 to 7, yeah.
So if you haven't, look up Teacher Summit and add us.
Yeah,
There's
request
something
as friends,
for
so
you to
you
do later.
Yeah, it's going to be popping up right here, so I don't know if you guys are doing it or not.
Teacher Summit?
Yeah,
So first we need to create a Facebook page.
And then even after the conference, we'll have this open, right, so they can keep doing this.
Where do I go on Facebook? I just barely.
Do a search, Teacher Summit.
and then so the idea also is that this is the same as education. It's always evolving and it's, adding new things, new ideas, and it's the same as the Facebook page. You can continue to add to the idea. All right.
Yeah, just add us.
It just says Teacher Summit, looks like this. Right?
Yeah, add it, add friend. I just requested.
Add friend.
You have to accept them.
Yeah, we're working
I'll show you what we have. Just a couple of things.
Oh, yeah. So we think a good teacher has humor.
Great teachers embrace technology. And here's where you can participate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we posed this question, what's more important, knowledge or passion? So go for it and answer.
You
have to add us as friend.
Yes, yes.
I haven't seen anybody yet. I got 2 so far.
So click add friend and then we'll accept.
Mine says it was sent, right?
Yeah, mine says it was sent.
And did you see that kid?
Yeah.
The teacher had so much passion. Look, he's taking a test. He's pumped about it. I'm sure all of our students look like that.
So we got some answers to the question. What's more important?
Have a sense of humor. A little punctuation joke there.
Commas save lives.
We have a little video here.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Teach Me How to Factor. Oh, great.
I'm not getting everything there.
I'll show you this one.
You haven't added me as a friend.
I see it, but I'm not seeing it.
So we can do this one.
Oh,
The teachers collaborate. So like we're all here collaborating about our experiences.
Yeah, this one won't work either. But you can do it at home later. Check out the videos. If you want to read this, it's really good.
Oh, that's fine. I like this quote. It says, everybody's genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. So I really think our students are very diverse. They come from different backgrounds. They have different levels of knowledge. We just kind of embrace it and teach to their strengths.
Good teachers think outside the box.
Did you cut off Dave's head and put it?
Yes, we did.
Was he using it?
So listen, good teachers think that their students are smarties. So a lot of times, if we think they're smart, they'll live up to that and they will be. And sometimes they come in and they have no self-esteem and they think they're not good or I'm stupid or I had a student just this week in midterm conferences and said, well, I'm not very smart, I just work hard. And I said, never say that, never say that. And you are really smart. But I believe if we think that of them, they will live up to that. And we're there to, build them up and
Oh,
there's
one.
Oh, and there, oh, yes, woohoo!
I'm out of.
Oh, yes. So if you
Oh, yeah.
Great teachers are cheerleaders.
We're there to cheer them up and be on their side.
And great teachers are creative.
With all the ideas that we've talked about.
This is the best team ever.
Let's read their comments that they.
Right, we get 3 so far.
That's good. If you haven't commented on what you think.
I just think this is a brilliant idea. And hopefully, we can all keep connected throughout the next year until next year.
And then do the last one.
The last one all the way down.
Well, I don't know where I'm going to do. Oh, yeah, there's spec video.
Yeah.
Spec. Oh, but the video.
Signals?
Yeah.
If you click it, it'll probably update. Check reference.
But can you just pull it in without putting it on?
It was the flash. Scroll down.
That's true.
Is there a Chrome browser?
Sorry guys. Let me see if we can do it this way.
And you're going to have the big finish. We'll wait till we finish.
Yeah. When it works, it's great.
Is it possible just to pull it off?
That flash wasn't working in Excel at all.
So that you can use it very
There you go, man.
Oh, I like that post for Mary Brown.
There you go.
A little bit revealing.
So this is one we found. I'm not sure we have sound. Yeah, we do.
It's just a little song Ruben wrote.
That's right.
Does anyone know how to turn this up? Hold the button now.
Button up top.
That's something everyone should know.
Everybody.
Terms and now we cook it like with the bacon on a griddle. Okay. Both the digits gotta be perfect squares. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Go ahead, DOS. All the students trying to get it. You gotta recognize when I spit it. Set up 2 sets. Put an X in each. Mine is here, plus there.
So imagine how a student will learn if they are create something like that, you know what I mean?
I show this video every semester to my students, and I think it just makes them a little bit more excited about kind of a boring topic. I don't know if they can relate to it, you know.
Everybody shut up.
And everybody. Yeah. This is Weird Al Excursion. Where is that one? I can't find it. I want to go look.
Further up.
It's time to wake up, people. This one goes out to teachers. Teachers and students. It's time to get on learn on. And we got lots to learn too. I don't know it all, but I know a few things. Science. You hear? You take up space, you matter. It's just science, man. Don't be a bully. Don't even be a bully to the bullies. It just makes more bullies. We can all be awful sometimes. We can all also be awesome. It's time to be more awesome.
That's another one. But anyway, this is what we created, and I think it's a great help.
Wait a minute, I just posted something.
Give me a second.
Passion?
Did you post your question?
Let me see.
Maybe it's not there yet. Oh, there we go.
Anyway, so we have more answers to the questions.
So we don't have that last one.
Which, oh, that's something. Do I have it?
Just so that we.
Sorry.
It's a drum roll.
Oh, there we go. No, this
It
one.
didn't work. Oh, yeah.
So is our grammar.
And most of all, you have to have mutual respect.
gotta love everything.
How much can you do in 1 week?
No, what you said.
Nissan person knows with Nissan Connect. Choose Nissan.com and click now for local offers like this.
Find a little search thing.
I hate those.
No.
Wait, I think I need to buy a car. Oh, wait, it worked.
Does everybody need to stand up on this? Everybody. Come on.
What makes great teachers? We Okay, so I'm going to ask it. What makes great teachers? We all do. Okay, that's it.
That was a short one.
Teachers are real and they're authentic, so we want you to know we traced one of us to make this our real body.
And we also wanted to utilize everyone in the group in our teaching background. I'm in aviation maintenance, we have a couple of nurses, and there's biology and school instructors. So what we thought of was that, heaven forbid, there was an airplane crash, and there was happened to be a school teacher on the airplane, and it crashed and landed, and the teacher came apart. And so called in the nurses and the biology experts, and we all have to put this person together with what makes a great teacher. First off, I'm going to go with flexible. Down there. A flexible teacher, or a good teacher, great teacher has to be flexible. In the experience, I came to class one morning and the power was out. That was the morning that had a great YouTube video planned, and it just didn't happen. So I had to be flexible enough to know, throw something in there, something else in there for the class.
I have the other leg, which is a risk taker. We ask our students every day to do really hard things. We ask them to take risks all the time because we know that's how they'll learn. So we need to be able to do that too.
Others. We have to be compassionate. We have to care about our students. Learn their names, make them feel like they're actual people, not just, a seat that they're filling. So care about them. Everybody is coming in with different backgrounds. They have different things that they're bringing to the table, but also different challenges. So be compassionate about the teaching and about the students itself.
High expectations. This is one that I feel very strongly about because high expectations, if we expect high things from our students, they will rise to the occasion. My best teachers are the ones that make me jump out of my shell and do things that are really, really hard for me. So I really appreciate the high expectations from our teachers.
We feel like a great teacher should be not just listeners, but active listeners. Ones that when you sit down when they come into your office, that you stop everything, regardless of how busy you are, that you are an active listener. I believe that not only to your students, when you're actively listening to them, you make them feel like they're valued, but also your colleagues and those people up above us that we're not supposed to mention. Starts with an A.
All right, I've got. It says grading on the curve. That probably that funny. I get that a great teacher has to be funny, or at least have to have a sense of humor. I don't know how many of you have been in the classroom where you do that and wait for everybody to laugh and nobody laughs. You got to be able to to be able to know that, not take it personal, and just come back again. Don't,
I've got the gut. Where would I put it? All right, it's out here. All right. We feel in our guts what they need, and we may not acknowledge that, but we are perceptive enough and intuitive enough to know in our guts what our students need.
Not only should we know our guts, but we should also know our subject matter. So we should be knowledgeable, at least to some extent. You know, sometimes they may correct us and pull out their iPhones and like, well, Google says this, but at least you should know your subject matters.
You even got the brainstem in there. That's good.
It's important.
Now, thinking of this, I thought about our teachers sometimes have their wild hair. That's good. Our teachers have to be exciting, something that draws them in, that goes along with everything that embodies our subject and having knowledge. If we can make it exciting and to get out to the students, then they're going to be excited about what they're learning.
Okay, so kind of along with that, we feel like a great teacher should be a lifelong learner. You know, we lead by example as teachers, and you know, we need to kind of emulate that to our students, that we're lifelong learners, not only in our field of expertise, but in education as well.
okay, and I took experience. I don't have a whole lot of experience as a teacher. Been at it for about 1.5 years now. But I do have experience in my field of expertise. And the students appreciate that. The students are able to know that I understand what I'm talking about, that I have passion about what I'm talking about.
Reflective, we put with the eyes. If we aren't reflective and take a look at what's happening, what we need to do to change it, what we need to do differently, what we need to try next time, it's kind of lost.
Okay, I have the other hand, which is great teachers should be creative in the classroom. I find this a challenge, although I'm a very creative person, but when I'm looking out in my class and they're like snoozing and they're just not engaged, then I have to reevaluate and adapt my lecture. And that's where my creativity comes in, whether I come in and introduce a game or get them standing up and doing something interactive. I feel like that is a good trait for a great teacher.
Be passionate. Obviously, most of us love teaching, but be passionate about the subject matter. You know, if you stand in front of the class and you just have a monotonous voice, you may as well just play some kind of weird, you know, nap time story or something like this. Be passionate. You know, there was a reason why you became a teacher in the first place. So share that with your students. Share with them what your struggles were when you were learning the subject matter. Okay, share with them that teaching or learning is not always easy, but so be passionate and share that with the students.
I had to laugh as we were putting this together. We had come up with several options about how to present this, getting you involved and being engaging. And it was a piece that we had missed on our teacher. We wanted our teachers to be engaging. We wanted this to be engaging for you, but we didn't have it. So it's our little, we've got to have that engaging part to make everything come together.
We make real teachers.